Alright guys, welcome back. As a follow-up to our product review of Epic Flash, we promised you we would do a little comparison with Rogue and give you guys an idea of if 2019's edition is going to be significant enough for the people who bought Rogue or were thinking about Rogue to make the change.
Yeah, or at least consider it going into fitting, whether you want to try both of them.
I mean, we always know Callaway are one of the premium wood manufacturers.
Yes.
They always are. They have a really nice formula for speed and feel and adjustability. All the things you need to be a really top product. But the key is, as we always say, is it for you? Is it going to be the one that's going to work best for the player?
So I mean, we're obviously looking at some obvious changes. You've got a bit of adjustability now. You didn't have that before.
Correct.
The face technology we talked about a bit.
Yeah.
Will that help? I guess we'll have to see. The shape of them overall, especially from the sole and address position, they look very similar shape.
Yeah, they're definitely both very elongated front to back. Obviously trying to stretch that for the increased inertia. Obviously build the forgiveness into it. So I think it'll be very interesting. We're going to just do a straight up test. Shootout. Neutral versus neutral. But we shouldn't end it there. We should do, you know, fitted versus fitted almost as well.
Gotcha.
And the thing
tweak
is,
it a bit.
yeah, well, just because we obviously want to give you guys the idea that there wasn't really much adjustability you could bring to the table with Rogue.
True enough.
Other than in the sleeve, and obviously the weight port for more of a swing weighting feel preference standpoint. You know, we have to talk about the track as a technology because it's relevant, and it was one of the things that we enjoyed so much in Epic in 2017. We are really happy to see it back for 2019.
For sure. From a fitting perspective, so important.
Very much so. Yeah, I think it's a useful technology.
Okay, we're gonna hit this first.
Yeah, let's start with that first, Matty. Let's see how you hit it.
All
now,
right.
you've always hit this driver nicely.
This one has been, so the reason we're not doing the Sub-Zeros is that I just don't hit them well. They don't spin enough for me.
Yeah.
But when we've tested this before, I've had some pretty good results with it.
All right, Matty boy.
Okay.
Let's take a little peek.
It's ball struck.
Bounded. High, quite spinny.
Yep.
Probably up in the kind of 2700 RPM range. 25-ish. Fraction of a heel. Ball speed would dropped a little bit.
So that, I think I may have left the face open a little bit on that one.
It's got some climb on it, that.
Yeah, I think I just left the face open a fraction.
Similar spin-wise.
Yeah, it's got some spin on it, doesn't it?
And it's dropped in ball speed. This is going to be interesting.
Was that a fraction low in the face, that one?
It was, yeah, just slightly below the equator, yeah.
That's a much better hit. I would expect that to be closer to the center. Okay. Let me try to give that a little bit more speed. Those are a little slower than usual. Okay, that was good. That should be about as good as I can hit this driver, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. Definitely got some spin.
Definitely got some spin. Now, we've talked about this. You and I have talked about it kind of over the last little while. You have changed your delivery a little bit to the point where you are retaining more dynamic loft.
For sure.
You know, you are seeing a bit more spin, you know, from your own flight.
Yep.
So that's not unusual to see that little pattern that we just saw there.
No.
But it does mean that this, which was a good driver for you last year, is no longer a good driver for you.
Yeah.
Okay, pal, let's have a little look at this one.
I give it a little bit of an edge at address looks-wise.
Do you think
it
this
just
looks
sits a little bit
sharper?
more neutral.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said this one has an interesting look from a lie angle perspective, though.
Yeah, I think they look quite upright. I thought that about the Sub-Zero too. I don't know how we'd have to measure that, I guess, but they definitely look.
I mean, it's in their spec sheet. It's still 58 degrees on the lie.
Okay.
So
maybe just the way the hosel enters the head, it has that appearance.
They can often just call that tolerance though, Matty.
Oh, okay.
And that's, you know, same as loft. You know, it's a lot manufacturers on purpose for a long time were making their 10, 10.5s, 11 and 12. Yeah, because they didn't feel like players were using enough loft.
Oh, okay.
So they would sort of slightly change the tolerance on them.
Interesting.
It might be something that Callaway feel like this is a better driver for the customer who's looking for that one.
Yeah.
If they tilt it up a little bit.
Generally speaking, if you make it more upright, it's going to help someone reduce their slice, which is the majority of people anyway.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was very different.
That was different. Now, I think I got the face a little shut on that one. So that may not be the best comparison compared to the ones I hit with Rogue, but I definitely...
Yeah, straight away, like for like on speed. I mean, look at the two different flight profiles.
Yeah, that was
quite significant.
I didn't hit one like that before, where I got the face shut.
Yeah, 47 feet lower than your average.
Hard to say if that was me or not, to be honest.
Well, it definitely happens more when you get that spin down in the lower region.
Yeah.
Let's see what that dynamic lie angle's sitting at. I mean, that's too toe up, Matty. I mean, look at the tilt of the lie angle.
Interesting.
That's too much.
So that could be contributing to the face getting a bit closed?
Yeah.
It's pretty well hit, I think. Might have been a little low on the face.
Okay, one more and then I'm going to make that little adjustment to that weight on the back.
Okay.
Just needs to come back a little, this one.
Yeah. That wasn't the best swing, but not too bad. I'm definitely fearing this one going right a bit more for some reason. It seems to want to turn over.
Be a nice driver for you if you didn't have that feel, and you could swing at it with a bit more comfort and ease. It'd probably be quite a nice driver for you.
Okay.
So weight now in the toe.
Right.
More of a slight fade bias driver.
Should help keep the face a little bit more open.
Yeah, should just help that start line be a little more left and the curvature a little less.
Okay.
Just like that. Right on cue. Look at that. Look at the difference on the flight of that. That's so strong.
I think it was actually a little bit high in the face, but I got away with it. Yeah, a little bit high in the toe.
312 in the air is good. It's your longest drive so far with any of them. Yeah, you're quicker with Flash.
So part of that is probably the face angle. I think I'm getting this a little more closed. Do you think that's putting the ball speed up a little bit, maybe?
Yeah.
I will say the one that I struck a bit low on the face, that ball speed was retained quite well.
Yeah.
We didn't get that 166 that we had with the Rogue.
True.
All right, let me see if I can get a little more centered. Yeah, that's hit well. It's definitely way lower spin.
You can see it, isn't it? It's flat.
I feel like I'm making very similar swings, but this thing is way lower spin.
It has a more neutral ball flight, doesn't it, with the weight in the toe as well?
It's making a big difference.
Yeah.
I think it's starting left for sure, and it's not curving nearly as much.
It's keeping the curve tighter.
Yeah, I would be comfortable saying this is doing something.
Okay, give this one.
Give it a little bit.
Give this one the treatment.
It's pretty well struck. I think I think the spin just gets a little low with this thing, which I think a lot of people will like. The launch seems to be pretty good still.
Yeah, it turns, doesn't it?
Yeah, like I think I'm striking those quite well.
You are striking them well. They're definitely being well hit. They're not gearing too much out of a toe strike. No. Minimal 4 millimeters is nothing, but
there's just not much backspin.
Yeah, I mean you're getting the ball speed going there. So,
so let me ask you this: Epic Original did super well because it was fast and low spin. wasn't that stable.
Yeah.
Do you think they might have overreacted a bit with this, made it a little bit higher spin than it really needs to be? Because the difference between these two, to me, shouldn't be that much. I don't think it should be as substantial. Or is there something else going on here that's affecting the spin?
No, I think it's very personal to the player. I mean, I know I've given the Rogue to certain players over, the past year, and it hasn't been as high in spin as it was there for you.
Yep.
I think just your delivery's changed a little bit, but it doesn't matter. It's an apples for apples, this head versus that head. The only thing we changed was the same ball, same shaft, same everything, head to head, and then we optimized it with the weight in the toe a little bit.
Yeah.
You could play that driver for
I
sure.
think so too. I'd be comfortable. Are you comfortable saying this is a lower spin head than in the Rogue?
Yeah, for sure.
In the standard
no
configuration. Yeah. Well, maybe we can do a future test, probably not with me, but to see if the Sub-Zeros are any different. I'll spin them both at 0, so it won't help. But
I know.
Maybe they've also reduced the spin on that, which would be crazy. I mean, our first video, I was having trouble keeping that in the air.
Yeah, there was a couple of ones we literally had to. We couldn't even use them. Yeah, they were just falling out the sky. Which we have seen from you a little bit more last year when we were hitting things like M3.
Yeah, for sure.
9.5 M3 when we had it open playing 8.5 was a problem for you.
Definitely.
So this was a bit more like that today, wasn't it?
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, so for the guys out there looking for that low spin, that kind of quick one, low spin, now with the adjustable weight at the back, this could be a bit of a weapon.
I think this is really nice, yeah. You may need to adjust your loft setting. Maybe you were a 9.5 kind of guy. I would say you might go up a little bit in loft.
Yeah, interesting.
Because if the spin stays down and your launch goes up, you could be picking up some yardage through launch conditions.
Well, who was it we talked about recently? It was one of our prescriptions. We talked about that, trying to kind of get the launch up with the spin being down.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
We were talking about trying to get that. So if you can separate launch and spin, where you can kind of tilt one up and keep spin down, you'll get free yardage from it.
Absolutely. Just quickly looking at that to wrap up.
Yeah.
A lot of that, maybe not a lot, but some of that is due to the tendency of this to, can we compare face angles at all to see if there was a difference from that, or do you think the head DNA was responsible for that much spin difference?
Yeah, the face was closing a little bit more on Flash.
On Flash, okay.
The toe was tilted up more. Obviously, loft is going to be down. Delivery-wise, path and angle attack are very, very similar.
Right. So not likely. The reason I'm asking is you wouldn't say this is a faster ball speed driver than this. It may be a little bit better on miss hits, but it doesn't seem to be much different when you strike one in the middle.
Efficiency-wise, it would say there isn't a big difference.
Should be similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's it, isn't it? It's understanding that there's going to be minimal gains at this point from a ball speed perspective with any of these drivers. We've said for a while that, I've said for a long time, there's nothing more frustrating for me when I get a rep comes in and tries to tell me that there are new drivers 3 to 5 miles an hour faster.
Yeah.
For who?
Exactly.
For the guy who was getting, perfect, efficient smash factors. Give us a break. We're beyond the sales pitch now because we can test it.
Yep.
So let's just be honest about the whole thing, and let's talk about the technology. Let's talk about when it may be beneficial on the off-center hits. If your strike strays away from where it should be, the non-optimized hits will probably improve. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah. And I think they've achieved that to some degree. From an initial test, it looks like some progress has been made in that sense.
Definitely.
And I think the adjustability is a great addition. That's probably as far as we should go for right now.
You probably don't want to go any further than that. I mean, if we wanted to say that the launch stays up with this with the spin coming down, that's fair.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be absolutely fair.
Could be a very long driver for someone.
Yeah, definitely, and easier to optimize.
Good. Okay. Well, this was fun. I'm glad we did that. Hopefully that was helpful if anyone was comparing the two. I just see Al in the building here, so he is next up. He's going to be hitting this, get him a little bit of a fitting for the new Flash.
It'll be interesting because, like everyone knows, different players at different speeds will activate the head in a different way. So,
very true.
That's why we want to test at different speeds, because we know that it could actually do something very different. I actually found Rogue to be a better driver last year for players with slower speed than players with really, really fast speeds. So, I think this could be interesting.
Okay, well, that's coming up next.
Definitely. Guys, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again soon.